This isn't a game. This is real. It will have a real consequence.
Welcome to Opinion Journal. I'm Mary Kissel. That was House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Rogers talking about a bill that was meant to drastically curb the NSA's ability to collect metadata from phone records. That effort was pushed back by a narrow vote in these last hours. Editorial board member Joe Rago joins me now. Joe, so the bill was defeated. Another example of a Bush-era anti-terror policy that the Obama administration supports?
Right, and it's even weirder than that, because the White House had to enlist the House Republican leadership to form a coalition to defeat this amendment.
Well,
talk about strange bedfellows.
Well, what does that say about the Republicans in the House that so many of them supported this effort by a very junior congressman, Justin Amash, I think is his name,
right,
to really gut this essential anti-terror program?
Well, look, you've got sort of a left-right condominium growing here. You've got a lot of liberals who are offended on civil liberties grounds. You've got the rise of the libertarian right, who also object on civil liberties grounds. And then the other problem you have is just you have a Democrat in the White House, so a lot of Republicans are going to oppose him no matter what he does. You know, the weird thing is we litigated this so long during the Bush administration. You know, this was the probably the defining fight of the second Bush term, with the exception of Iraq. But the larger war on terror, you know, the Republicans are really switching here, and I think the White House should be worried that they're losing the critical support they need for some of these surveillance programs.
You know, Joe, one of our colleagues, Holman Jenkins, wrote a column recently, essentially said, free the metadata, take this program out of the NSA, put it in another agency, let's not make it secret. You know, trying to find the needle in the haystack is not something it needs to be top secret. Do you agree with him?
Well, you know, I think the nature of security programs is you have to keep them secret, or otherwise you'll expose intelligence sources and methods and let the people that we're trying to catch know how we're trying to catch them.
But Joe, come on. We already know that the NSA was searching metadata. That was public information. It's been written about in numerous places.
It wasn't public information until a few months ago.
Wired magazine a couple of years ago. I mean, look, the terrorists know that we're searching who they call, and we're, you know, monitoring that stuff. I mean, what's so wrong with not keeping that as a secret? Why can't we talk about that?
Right. As I say, you know, if the terrorists know that you know, we're looking for certain signatures in their web activities, for example, they're going to stop using those signatures. If they know how we're connecting the dots, they're going to stop putting those dots down.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what the American people think. There was a recent Wall Street Journal, NBC News poll out. It says that 56% of Americans worry that the U.S. will not go far. What worries you more? The U.S. won't go far enough to monitor activities, or that will go too far? 56% says they worry the government's going to go too far. Is that a product of keeping so many of these programs secret?
Well, no, I think it's a product of this furor that began with Edward Snowden, and that a lot of politicians are stoking for their own purposes. You know, this is really a critical program, and the other thing I attribute those numbers to are just the White House's failure to defend these programs in public. You know, President Obama has said more about Trayvon Martin than he has about metadata and the NSA and so forth. You know, the White House didn't whip against this bill. This debate is taking place in a vacuum that I think is dangerous, and it could lead to something like the Church Committee of the 1970s, which really harmed the CIA's ability to defend the country, and we may be headed, what this vote shows is we may be headed in that direction.
Okay, well, I hope not. Wall Street Journal editorial board member Joe Rago, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Mary.